The Venom 3 early reviews are actually good?
Luke, what do you think about Venom 3? It's good. They say it's good. Yeah, I'm surprised too.
So in this video, I want to go over some of the social media reactions, kind of first reviews that people have been making since the premiere last night. Because I've been on kind of like an emotional roller coaster ride when it comes to Venom 3. I was initially kind of hyped. The Noel stuff got me really interested. Then I heard some bad things. It was like tracking really low in the box office. And I'm like, oh no, like what if this movie is just bad and nobody sees it? And these reviews totally turned that around. They are way more positive than I thought they would be. Let's show you what I mean. I'm over here on the direct, and they have aggregated several of the first reviews for Venom The Last Dance. First up, we have the Rap senior writer Drew Taylor, and he ranked the threequel as the best of the Venom movies, explaining that it was not perfect, but it was super entertaining. Venom The Last Dance is the best of the Venom movies. The insanity has been ramped up significantly, but so has the heart. It's not perfect, but it's super entertaining. And there's a giant monster that chews people up and sprays blood out of the back of its head. Pretty nuts. So first of all, major spoilers about that monster. What the hell? But also, that's crazy. I did not expect people to be saying this is the best of the Venom movies and that it ramps everything up. Next up, we have Comic Books Chris Killian, who enjoyed the movie as a classic guilty pleasure cinema, seeing it as a wacky buddy road trip that pushes the limits of the PG-13 rating. Venom The Last Dance is a wacky buddy road trip that stretches its PG rating as far as it'll possibly go. Simply put, Venom 3 is classic guilty pleasure cinema. Turn your brains off and let Venom snack on them. A second post from Killian praised the film's use of the villainous Noel and the way he was set up as a future threat, hoping Tom Hardy's run as Venom is not over yet. Noel is creepy. I love the way they used him and set him up as a future threat. Fingers crossed this isn't Tom Hardy's last dance with Venom, and that we'll see him face to face with Spider-Man when we least expect it. That's cool to hear. That's high praise. I was very excited for Noel. There was a moment where I got concerned that maybe Noel's just going to be thrown in, not really well conceived and kind of lame. So it's cool to hear that people are excited about what they see in this movie, and it's interesting that people are excited for more. Now, the director, or it was a producer or something, somebody came out and basically said that this was not the last time for Noel, that Noel could not possibly be a one and done. And so at the very least, there's much more to come with Noel the symbiote god. And I think one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood is that this isn't actually The Last Dance. We are going to see more of Eddie Brock, although I guess technically speaking it would depend on how this movie did. If this movie bombs hardcore, then maybe Marvel and Sony would change the current plan that they have, and the rumors are that the current plan is for Tom Hardy's Venom to possibly show up in Spider-Man 4, potentially even in Secret Wars, and then maybe even some stuff after that. So ironically, even though the movie is called The Last Dance, it seems like it's going to be far from the actual Last Dance for this character of Venom. The praise continued from Digital Spy's Ian Sandwell, who felt this movie was the most entertaining of the trilogy and teased that fans may find themselves getting emotional. Venom The Last Dance is the most entertaining of the trilogy. It's largely a funny and sweet road trip with Eddie and Venom living their Thelma and Louise fugitive dreams, including car karaoke and dog rescuing. You might even find yourself getting emotional. What? The movie's actually gonna have feelings and stuff and make you feel emotions? That's crazy. This is another prominent voice in the sort of nerdy critic sphere that's saying this is the best, or at least the most entertaining out of all of the Venom movies. That actually makes me really excited, man. I did not love the idea of going to see this movie on Thursday, it being a big old stinker, a lot of people not liking it, it not really making a lot of money because there's no word of mouth, and then I have to be like, oh yeah, Venom, I went and saw it. It sucked. I can't believe Sony's doing this to the comic book genre. Craven's probably gonna bomb. It's Jover. And instead, out of nowhere, Venom 3 might be the actual best Venom movie, which is cool. I like the first Venom movie. Had some problems with Venom 2. So if they can actually get Venom 3 to be better than both of those other movies, damn. And for just entertainment value, yeah, I'm not really going to Venom expecting it to be like an elevated genre film, right? It's comic book book movie to its core, 90s comic book movie feeling with those films. So I just want to be entertained, man. So this is another really good sign, another good review for Venom The Last Dance. Screen Rant's Joe Deckelmeyer was reminded of the early 2000s comic book movies while also calling Venom 3 a tribute to action films from the 80s from an action standpoint with plenty of holes. Venom The Last Dance takes you on a wild and exhilarating journey from start to finish. It's a fun popcorn movie that reminds me of the early 2000s comic book movies. The action is great, and it is a tribute to action films from the 80s. Are there plot holes and some issues with the story? Yes. Is it fun? Also, yes. So Joseph is saying that the action is pretty on point. Like, that's what I'm getting out of that review. Like, the action's really crazy. It's really entertaining. And yes, there are some holes in it. So that kind of just calibrates it right to where I thought it was going to be. Pretty much what I'm hoping for with a Venom 3 movie. It's the most cinematic, monumental Venom movie to date, proclaimed comic book movies Josh Wilding. The highlights for him were Eddie Brock and the Venom dynamics and the final act, which he calls bonkers. I've seen Venom The Last Dance, and it's the most cinematic, monumental Venom movie to date. Eddie Brock and Venom's dynamic is at its strongest in this one, and the stakes are so much higher. I had a lot of fun with this one, and the final act is bonkers. Wilding even compared it quite favorably to 2021's Venom Let There Be Carnage, calling it way meatier from the plot standpoint. Is it perfect? Nah, far from it. However, it's leaps and bounds ahead of Venom and has way meatier plot than Venom Let There Be Carnage. The Spider-Man 4 rumors have been blown out of proportion in my opinion, but Venom The Last Dance left me wanting more of these two, and Noel mostly. And yet again, you have another voice out there saying that this is better than the first Venom and way meatier than the second Venom. Like, this quite possibly will be the best Venom movie, which to me would be cool. That would kind of make the Venom trilogy a trilogy that starts off fairly strong. I really enjoy the first movie. Kind of has a drop off, does some cool stuff in the second one, but it's... And then a third movie that's just bonkers and doubles down on all the best parts of the franchise and cuts some of the bullcrap that we saw seep into the second in the trilogy. That would kind of put it as a good Venom trilogy for me. And with this Spider-Man 4 tease and with more of Noel on the horizon, more Venom possible, more Spider-Man 4 and all of that integrated together. Oh man, I'm excited about Venom 3. And again, this is such a relief. The box office predictions for Venom have just been going down, and of course Joker bombed, and frankly a lot of the comic book genre stuff is just not lighting the world on fire right now. And I know it might be kind of like a weird train of thought to go on, but I was super concerned that Venom would bomb or potentially just be kind of rejected by audiences, and therefore that would hang over the Craven movie, which weirdly enough I've actually heard is a really good movie. Like, Sony appears to have actually figured something dope out for that Craven film, and I'm kind of excited for it. It would have been hard to be excited for that movie if they let me down heavy with Venom 3. I mean, you throw Noel into that thing, and there's automatically, like, concerns that come with that. Noel is awesome. Noel is a great character, and I was really hyped up. I'm hyped up right now, but there was a moment where it looked like this was a break glass in case of emergency type thing, kind of like a Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker, kind of a Hail Mary, let's get people into the theaters, holy crap. I was concerned that there wouldn't be justice done to Noel, and essentially if they set that character up in a movie that was bad, that fans did not enjoy, then it's a false start. Like, it's just not gonna work. It's gonna be hard for people to get excited about that. And we're at a place with the genre of comic book movies where that's a big concern that kind of hangs over the whole genre right now. Marvel Studios has been kind of like getting their shit together, for lack of a better word. You know, we're pivoting into some really interesting stuff with Doom and the multiverse. There's gonna be so much goddamn Tom Holland, you know, between Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, and Secret Wars. Like, you're getting a ton of that character, which is great. Daredevil Born Again seems like a whole different kind of show from Marvel's, you know, other stuff. They're hour-long episodes. They seem really dark, gritty. It's gonna be fantastic, but it gets concerning when Sony's, right? And if they would have delivered a stinker in Venom 3 and then a stinker in Craven, it would have kind of hung over all of the early comic book stuff next year. So I was concerned with that. And also, like, I really like Tom Hardy. Like, Tom Hardy chose to be Eddie Brock in Venom. There was a whole world of opportunity out there for Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy decided to kind of do his Hugh Jackman, his Ryan Reynolds, right? His Iron Man, his Tony Stark. He chose that, and the fans should respect that because we got 3 Venom movies in the theaters. If you're a big comic book fan, like, dude, that's just something you wanted to see. Now, I will admit, hasn't been perfect. Sony is going to Sony, but it kind of feels like they're righting the ship. This crew that has done this 3rd movie, it seems like they found something really cool. And if they can even elevate it further, there's hope for Sony, Noel, Venom, the future. Weird that the movie is called The Last Dance, but now I'm actually pretty freaking excited to go see this movie. So I'm seeing it very early on Thursday. I will drop a first reaction / review that night, and then we'll talk about it on stream Friday morning. Hope to see you there. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.